Instagram have announced a 5-day return to office mandate for all US staff. But Instagram is owned by Meta, and Meta is keeping the hybrid 3-day policy for Facebook, WhatsApp, and everybody else. When one division of a tech giant breaks from company policy this dramatically, something's up, and a Meta software engineer thinks he knows the secret plan. He says this is a test run for a massive stealth layoff in tech. But I've been digging into this, and I think he's missing something crucial. This isn't about stealth layoffs spreading everywhere. I think something else is going on at Instagram right now. Let me explain his theory first because it's compelling and credible. I'll put a link in the description to his video, but he describes what's happening as a soft layoff. Here's how it works. When Meta does real layoffs, they pay generous severance. We're talking 16 weeks base pay, extended healthcare, the whole package. That's expensive when you're cutting thousands of jobs, which Meta has done in recent years, as I've covered in another video that you'll find in the layoffs playlist on this channel. But if you force people back to the office 5 days a week, some percentage will surely quit. Maybe they moved during the pandemic, maybe they can't handle the commute anymore, maybe they just refuse to give up remote work. When they quit, Meta owes them nothing. No severance, no extended benefits. The company reduces headcount without spending a dime. And if this works for Instagram, our insider engineer argues that it's coming for all of Meta. Then Google watches, Microsoft takes notes, and suddenly the entire tech industry is using office mandates as stealth layoffs. It's a solid theory, but I want to offer an alternative explanation that I think better accounts for some crucial questions. Why Instagram? Why now? And why is Adam Mosseri, Instagram's head, the one pushing this? To understand what's really happening, you need to know two things: who Adam Mosseri is and what crisis he's facing. Mosseri didn't work his way up to the typical coder ranks of Facebook. After all, Mark Zuckerberg was a teen computer programmer. Chris Cox, the overall head of Meta Platforms, joined Facebook as a software engineer. But Mosseri joined Meta in 2008, Facebook then, as a product designer, not an engineer. No computer science degree, his background is in media and information design. He climbed the ranks to product design, eventually running design for the Facebook newsfeed. That's what put him into Mark Zuckerberg's inner circle. When Instagram's original founders left in 2018, Zuckerberg appointed one of the trusted people from his inner circle, Adam Mosseri. The background of the new head of Instagram matters more than you might think, because how Mosseri sees creative and productive work, how he believes innovation happens, is fundamentally different from how most engineers see it. And that difference might explain everything. Our insider Meta software engineer makes his case clearly. He needs deep focus for coding, hours of uninterrupted time to debug complex problems. The office, with its meetings and interruptions, kills his productivity. For him, peak performance happens at home, without interruption. And the guy isn't wrong for engineering work. But Mosseri's world is completely different. In product design, productivity isn't measured in lines of code written in isolation. It's measured in iterations, in how quickly you can show a mock-up to 5 stakeholders and pivot based on their input. Product designers don't close their door for 4 hours. They're expected to be always on, always connecting. They're the face of the user experience. Their best work happens in real-time collaboration. So Mosseri wrote in an internal memo that 5 days in the office will boost creativity, collaboration, and competitiveness. And the insider engineer says that's BS. But I think Mosseri genuinely believes it, because in his entire career experience, that's how great products get built. The problem is he's applying his experience to everyone, including engineers who work in a fundamentally different way. Now you might reasonably ask, why not just require product designers to be in the office? Why force everyone into the same policy? I think the answer lies in Meta's leadership culture and its history of big bets. Want the perfect example? The metaverse. Zuckerberg didn't just invest in VR or slowly introduce a new product into the market. He renamed the entire company, poured billions into this new technology, and declared that the metaverse was the future of work. He didn't have any proof that anyone wanted it, no user demand, just conviction and billions of dollars. The result? Massive losses, and not many of us chose to live legless in his virtual world. I still laugh at this guy. But this failure hasn't changed Meta's culture. Going all in is still how they expect their leaders to respond to a crisis. And now you may be wondering, what crisis? What pressure is Mosseri under? Well, just look at Instagram's position in early 2026. TikTok's engagement rate is 2.8%. Instagram Reels, 0.65%. YouTube Shorts is crushing them on creator monetization. That's their two big competitors, and they're eating Instagram's lunch. When you're this far behind and under this much scrutiny as the new guy, you need dramatic action. Mosseri can't magically create a TikTok-beating algorithm by next quarter. He can't suddenly match YouTube's creator payouts. He can change where everyone works immediately. It's the biggest lever he can pull right now. Why 5 days instead of four? Why not keep it hybrid so people can choose what's best for them? Because big bets aren't about optimization, they're about going all in. So while I respect the soft layoff theory, I see a different story. A first time division head, trained in Meta's big bet culture, watching his product lose to competitors, and pulling the biggest lever he has in front of him. He genuinely believes that getting everyone together will spark the innovation to push Instagram ahead of his competitors. Just like Zuckerberg genuinely believed we'd all meet up in the metaverse. What should worry Instagram employees isn't a secret layoff conspiracy. It's that this might be another metaverse, another massive bet without evidence that does not come off. The rest of tech should watch carefully. Not because this is definitely a soft layoff scheme spreading industry wide, but because other leaders, looking around for competitive advantage in productivity and creativity, might just decide that this is also the lever they want to pull down to the max.